December 8th, and I will have Councilmember Miller lead us in the flag salute.
Please join me. I pledge allegiance
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
Councilmember Bruins?
Present.
Councilmember Daniels?
Here.
Councilmember Miller?
here for a little bit.
Vice Mayor Schaefer?
Here.
And Mayor Middleton.
Here. Next item.
This meeting of the Citrus Heights City Council is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel, on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T Uverse systems. This meeting is closed captioned and live streamed at citrusheights.net. Tonight's meeting replays on Monday, December 12th at 9 a.m. on Channel 14. This meeting can also be viewed on the city's YouTube channel.
Next item, please.
Next item is approval of agenda.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Daniels, second by Bruins. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, now the hard part. Next item, please.
Next item is special item number 4, recognition of retiring council members Jeannie Bruins and Steve Miller.
Tonight, we would like to recognize the council members Jeannie Bruins and Steve Miller for their contributions to the city of Citrus Heights. But before we begin the presentation, I want to let the public know that you will have an opportunity to come up and say a few words following the presentation, and we ask that you complete a speaker sheet and give it to the city clerk, or you can just come to the podium during public comment time. I would now like to invite my council members Jeannie Bruins, Steve Miller, and my fellow colleagues to come down to the podium.
Oh, my word.
Hold it together, guys, come on. All right, we'll do the photo part first.
I'm going to bring this over here.
Who's that for? She's taking a picture with sound.
Awesome.
Where'd mine go?
Right here. All right, so I had a small copy that I read, but I'll go ahead and read this. Okay, all right. So we have this beautiful plaque for Jeannie. I'm going to read this, even with all the whereases and all that, so. Proclamation of the City of Citrus Heights honoring Jeannie Bruins for her service to the City of Citrus Heights. Whereas on December 11th, 2002, Jeannie Bruins officially became a member of the Citrus Heights City Council and is currently the longest-serving member of the City Council. And whereas Jeannie Bruins served very admirably and honorably as the mayor of Citrus Heights in 2006, 2011, 2016, and 2019. Whereas prior to joining the City Council, Jeannie Bruins was a member of the Citrus Heights Incorporation Project, thank you so much, a 12-year journey and a legal battle that toward cityhood, ascending all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. And Jeannie Bruins was co-chair of the Yes on Measure R campaign, wherein voters approved the incorporation of Citrus Heights and shaped the foundation of one of the largest cities to incorporate in the state of California. And whereas Jeannie Bruins served as the Chief Executive Officer of the Citrus Heights Regional Chamber of Commerce from 1993 to 2005, was instrumental in the development of the successful Leadership Citrus Heights program designed to educate and foster future community leaders. And whereas Jeannie Bruins worked assiduously to promote fiscal responsibility, safe and secure neighborhoods, and economic growth to the benefit of Citrus Heights and surrounding regions. And, now this is a long one, whereas during her tenure, Jeannie Bruins worked passionately to the city, with the City Council to approve projects enhancing the quality of life for Citrus Heights citizens. Major projects include the development of the Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan, revitalization of Auburn and Sunrise Boulevards, development of Citrus Heights Community Garden, construction of a new state-of-the-art city hall, forming of the Citrus Heights Police Department, construction of the Citrus Heights Community Center, the rehabilitation of Sayonara Drive, and the construction of the Citrus Heights Children's and Youth Center. And I'm already tired. And she did all this. So, whereas while providing leadership, vision, and for many high-profile endeavors, Jeannie Bruins spent countless hours quietly serving constituents, collaborating with staff to resolve issues that were important to the quality of the lives of the Citrus Heights residents and businesses. And whereas Jeannie Bruins diligently represented the city on various boards and commissions over the years, such as the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District and the Sacramento Area Sewer District, the Sacramento Area Council of Governments, the Sunrise Marketplace and Education Committee, the Quality of Life Committee, the Finance Committee, and the Citrus Heights Police Activities Lead Board. And whereas Jeannie Bruins found countless ways to contribute to the community, including 23 years of service in the Citrus Heights Rotary, and whereas Jeannie Bruins' incredible vision, sense of duty, and strong leadership are highly appreciated, and her legacy will continue to positively influence numerous members of our society. Now, there it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Citrus Heights does hereby commend to the highest regard the Honorable Jeannie Bruins for her distinguished and devoted service to the City of Citrus Heights and its citizens. In witness hereof, set on our hand on this 8th day of December 2022, Portia Middleton, Mayor, Tim Schaefer, Vice Mayor, Brett Daniels, Council Member, and Steve Miller, Council Member. Thank you so much, Jeannie.
Well, one down, one more to go.
Wow, it's hard to follow that. Mine's a little shorter. This says, Steve Miller was a cool and funny dude. All right. All right, we have a proclamation for Steve Miller for his service to the city of Citrus Heights. Whereas Steve Sparky Miller was appointed a member of the City Council on December 13th, 2005 to fill a vacancy on the City Council. What was that for?
I don't know. Somebody left.
Somebody left.
Yeah.
Whereas Steve Miller was subsequently elected to the City Council in November 2006 and re-elected in 2008, 2012, and 2016. And whereas Steve Miller served very admirably and honorably as the mayor of Citrus Heights in 2008, 2013, 2018, and 2021. And whereas, here comes the hard part. Right
I'm
here.
getting tired.
Steve Miller worked assiduously to promote fiscally responsible leadership, safe and secure neighborhoods, and economic growth to benefit Citrus Heights and the surrounding regions. And whereas during his tenure, Steve Miller worked passionately with the City Council to approve projects enhancing the quality of life for the citizens of Citrus Heights. Major projects include the development of the Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan, development of the Mitchell Farms project, revitalization of Auburn and Sunrise Boulevards, development of the Arcade Cripple Creek Trail project, helped introduce Smart Ride to Citrus Heights, development of Old Auburn multi-use trail, construction of a new state-of-the-art city hall, and construction of the Citrus Heights Community Center. And whereas Steve Miller diligently represented the city on various boards and commissions over the years, such as the Sacramento Regional Transit Board, the Capital Corridor Joint Powers Board, the Sacramento Transportation Authority Board, the Sacramento Area Council of Governments, Sunrise Marketplace, Citrus Heights Chamber of Commerce, the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District, Sacramento County Public Library Board, and the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission. And whereas in addition to his city council service, Steve Miller admirably served the community as vice chair of the Law Enforcement Community Advisory Committee that recommended Citrus Heights form their own police department. He served as vice president of Neighborhood Association Area 10, president of the Residents Empowerment Association of Citrus Heights in 2005, as well as multiple service clubs and initiatives including Citrus Heights Rotary, Citrus Heights Lions, Citrus Heights Pony Baseball, Sunrise Girls Softball, Mesa Verde Boosters Club, and Citrus Heights Relay for Life. And whereas Steve Miller espouses this same commitment to service to others individually and through organizations, providing the vision and leadership in establishing Connect Citrus Heights, whereby service organizations and communities come together to collaborate and share ideas and information on how to best serve the community. And whereas Steve Miller has been a productive and exemplary member of the Citrus Heights community and an outstanding government leader, now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of Citrus Heights does hereby commend in the highest regard the Honorable Steve Miller for his distinguished and devoted service to the city of Citrus Heights and its citizens. Congratulations.
I'm tired looking at all that.
My eyes are hurting.
And if that was not enough, I offer the opportunity for my colleagues to say a few words, preferably something that's not already written down. Starting with you, Mr. Daniels.
Okay, I can go first. I'll start with Steve. Steve was appointed after I decided to leave the council the first time around. It was a great appointment, and just those words there somewhat capture the incredible service that Steve has had to Citrus Heights, not only to the city, but to things that are connected with the city. And we're extremely lucky to have that. We're extremely lucky to have two council members that served for so long and dedicated so much of their lives to that. And therefore, thank you, Steve. And to Jeannie,
Don't you do that.
thank you, Jeannie. Jeannie and I have had a kind of an up and down over the years. And we got together for coffee a little while back. And I will be forever grateful for you for doing that. Thank you for everything.
Mayor?
Well, as a pretty new council member, I learned an incredible amount of what this job is about from both Councilmember Bruins and Councilmember Miller. And I'm eternally grateful for all of the hard work that they put in. If you look back at 2002, what did this city look like in 2002? What does it look like today? Some pretty amazing things have happened under the leadership of these two, and I am very grateful for that. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
So Jeannie and I, every time we have to do one of these, one of us cries, then we both cry, and it's a whole mess. So I'm not going to cry because we don't want to trigger each other. But Jeannie has been an instrumental part in the city. We all know that. But personally, in my own life, in my family's life, she has been that guiding star. After my father passed, she was there. She was very supportive, and she helped walk me through just the same way she walked this city through and ushered us in and helped us to understand what it meant to be a part of this community and to serve selflessly and to really try your best to make an impact. I will never be able to thank you enough for all of your guidance and your continued mentorship. Oh, Sparky. You have been the levity that I needed on the council. For some reason, everyone always sits you right beside me. You always crack the jokes, always, making me not take it so seriously. Remembering to smile, remembering to laugh, and to remember that we're doing this for the benefit of the community, and that's where the joy comes from. So thank you so much for showing me that path, for putting me on the planning commission all those years ago.
That's a while ago.
Yeah, a long time ago, but really making it so that this was actually a lot of fun, and I was able to find my own way, and everything that you've done for the city. A lot of the stuff I didn't know because you never shared, so I learned a lot today, and I really appreciate all of your hard work and your effort. And I hope to see you on the school board doing some really awesome things. Thank you.
We'll give it a good try.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, now the roast.
I would like to now invite members of the audience that wish to say a few words to come up to the podium. In the interest of time, speakers will be limited to 3 minutes. I have one speaker card. That's from Supervisor Sue Frost. And anyone else who would like to come up, please just line up at the podium.
Thank you, Mayor Middleton. I wanted to just come up and wish Jeannie and Steve all the best in their retirement from City Council. I remember when I was elected to City Council, and getting elected, by the way, is different than actually doing the job. And over the years, when I was first elected, I can't thank you both enough for all that you did to help me along the way. I was super shy and didn't quite know that it was such a big job. And I want to thank you, Jeannie. I knew you for, I think, a couple decades before I came to the City Council, and with your involvement in the chamber and my involvement in business, and my husband and I, we appreciated your leadership over time, and your part that you played in basically the formation of our city and helping to bring Citrus Heights to this place where we came to be known as, the sound fiscal city. Steve, you have, along the way, been fun to work with. I've appreciated, all of your support on some of the boards that we've served on together in the region. And I just want you both to know that I want to celebrate everything you've done. I hope you're not going away. I hope you'll still be involved in a lot of what's going on in Citrus Heights. And I hope you can handle, I think you might have jumped from the frying pan into the fire with the school board position, but
Ma'am.
best wishes always to both of you.
Thank you, Sue.
Is there any more public comment?
Let's get the timer on this guy.
Mr. Van Duker, state your name for the record.
Bill Van Duker, resident of Citrus Heights. This is kind of the end of an era. Jeannie and I go back to the very beginning of the formation of the Citrus Heights Incorporation project, and we, a lot of the times, felt like we were joined at the hips for 12 years. And for those of you that may not know the story, our effort to incorporate went clear to the U.S. Supreme Court before we got on the ballot. And so this is really the end of an era in some respects, and it's the passing of the baton. And I want to thank you for your service, and thank you for your dedication to the city and all that we fought so hard to get. And it far exceeded my dreams, and I'm grateful for our friendship.
Me too.
Steve, I don't know what to say about you, except in spite of all of who you are, I still like you, so.
I like you too, Bill.
Oh, okay. I appreciate your service, and I'm grateful for your dedication over the past few years. And best wishes on the school board. We're counting on you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Steve, Jeannie, I want to thank you for your guidance for the city council members. We've gone through quite a few members while you've been on the board. 20 years, Jeannie, it's been almost a lifetime for some people. And Steve, almost 20 years, but still it's a lifetime. Both of you have, I've enjoyed your leadership, enjoyed watching you. For the last 10, 15, I don't know how long we've been sitting back here, watching you and listen to your wise counsel to other board members, or I'm sorry, council members. But once again, I want to say thank you for your service.
Thank you, Mike.
If there's no more comment from the public,
Mayor, I do have a raised hand on Zoom as well.
perfect.
So Rick Hodgkins, you have your hand raised, so you can now unmute yourself to speak.
Hello, Mayor Portia Middleton and members of the council. Can everybody hear me? My name is Rick Hodgkins. Don't have anything to say about Jeannie.
Oh.
I don't recall getting a chance to meet her, but as far as Steve Miller goes, I remember that when not only was he mayor for a while, but that this is also his second go-around as chair of the Regional Transit Board of Directors. I also remember when former Sacramento City Council member Steve Cohen was chair of the RT Board of Directors. And I remember that, the apartment complex I live at now for about 14 years, that when we had our national night out one year, Mayor Miller actually came by me when I was sitting at a table outside, and we talked about transportation stuff, and something that we all agree on is transportation. We both agree on is transportation safety. So I'm gonna miss you. So best of luck to you, and happy holidays, my friend. Gonna miss you.
Thank you for your kind words, Rick.
Madam Mayor, if I may say a couple of words here.
Of course.
I just wanted to express my gratitude and say thank you on behalf of our staff team. Your commitment to service is very admirable and inspirational. I know our team gets a lot of inspiration from it, and you're definitely going to be missed with all the support that you provided to our staff over the years of service that you've served on the council. I know you built some great relationships. Please don't be a stranger. We would like to continue that relationship, and I'm confident that we'll continue to see each other and cross paths because with the type of service that you've provided to the community, I know that doesn't stop when you leave council. It's in you, it's in your DNA, and I'm sure that that service will continue. So looking forward to continuing that relationship. But thank you so much for everything you've done for the city and for our staff team.
Thank you, Steph. Thank you, Ash.
Okay, and now comments from Ms. Bruins.
She would ask me to go first. Well, first of all, I want to thank you all for coming out here tonight. I want to especially thank my family, my son Christian and my two grandsons, Logan and Landon, for taking the time out to come tonight. That means the world to me. 20 years went very quickly. I was not a willing candidate. I sent a note to the city staff yesterday, and they kind of bared my soul a little bit. I was not a willing candidate. I just really felt that this was a higher calling that I couldn't say no to. And so, despite my fears since I said yes, it's been a joy. It's been a wonderful, wonderful 20-year experience for me. I feel so honored to have been able to serve this community, to raise my son here, to raise my grandsons here, along with their parents' help, and to serve a very unique population. We have we're known for not only our fiscal prudency, but also for our high level of volunteerism, and that just speaks volumes to how people are connected and to Citrus Heights. When I moved here in 1984, it was my 29th move in my life, and I was ready to set down roots, and I did. Didn't know Citrus Heights from anything. Came up here for a job, and it's by God's grace that I was able to buy a house, and I still live there. We talk about solid roots and new growth. That's our motto for our city, and so we have people that preceded me that really are the root of this community. Our very first city council did the really tough work with those early days of dealing with the county and coming to terms with revenue neutrality and growing our city. And so I came in 6 years later, and I just picked up the baton and kind of ran with it. Scared to death, green as grass. Had a lot of people to help me along the way. And as I said in my note to the staff, I won't miss all the meetings. You saw when the resolutions were read, we don't just come to city council meetings. We're involved in a lot of stuff representing Citrus Heights. But I will definitely miss the day in and day out contact with the people. My staff members have become friends of mine. Some of you I've known for 20 years or more who are here longer than I have been here. So I treasure that, and I want to thank you for everything that you have done to partner with the council to make this an incredible community. I love Citrus Heights. I've loved serving it. I could serve it longer, but when the time has come to say goodbye and pass the baton on to someone younger and more energetic than me. And in my district, we had 4 candidates, and the 2 top candidates were both just fine people. And so either one of them, it was a close race. It could have gone either way. And Jane Taff is taking my seat. Had the pleasure of talking to her a couple days ago. She's so excited. That makes it easier. We have strong leadership. We've got a great city manager. We've got a strong city council moving forward. So thank you for voting for me for 5 times and allowing me the pleasure and the honor of serving this community. It's been a joy. Thank you. One more thing before you turn it over to Greg Anderson. Thank you for the street signs. Thank you so much. Those are great.
Okay, Mr. Miller.
I had to pick the night to step down when we had a Hall of Famer stepping down as well, Jeannie. But you've always kept me in line, and you've called me out when I've stepped over that line. So I've always appreciated that. And I really have to thank from the bottom of my heart my wife, Nanette. She made this possible. Her support I couldn't have done without you. Back when I was working full-time, I'd get home hurriedly on a council meeting night, and she'd let me take an hour and rest and take a nap, and then wake me up with coffee, and it was time to go to council meeting. And I really, really appreciate that. It has been an honor and a privilege and a true pleasure serving the city of Citrus Heights. And I believe I'm blessed to be able to continue on the school board representing our city. When I saw we had our own district, I thought it was important that we had representation. I couldn't find anybody, and Dan said, well, why don't you do it? I said, I thought you wanted me home and retired. He said, no, not after COVID. Find something to do. And so I do also want to thank Jana Karpinski Costa. I went to a neighborhood meeting. She sucked me in. I was Area 10, what was it, liaison to the REACH board. And so I showed up to my first REACH meeting. They were having board elections, and the person that was supposed to be president didn't show up, and I guess you had to be there. So I got sucked into being president of REACH before I knew it. And that's the thing. If you want to be involved, show up. We'll find a place for you. And so I also wanted to thank staff. They make us look really good. We don't do much up here except decide policy, and then they make it happen. And so I just ask you, keep the ball rolling forward, get that mall redeveloped, and bless all of you, and thank you. And I'm not going too far, just down the street to Walnut Avenue. I'll get you my new email address when I have one.
All right. Next item, please.
Our next item is special item number 5. The subject is certification of the November 8th, 2022 election results. The recommendation is to adopt a resolution reciting the fact of the general municipal election held on November 8th, 2022, declaring the result and other such matters as provided by law. And pursuant to Elections Code, the City Council shall adopt a resolution reciting the fact of the election for each City Council office voted on at the municipal election. As a result of the election, the following council members have been elected to the City Council for full 4-year terms. City Council District 2, Mary Jane Lopez Taft. City Council District 4, Jana Karpinski Costa. And City Council District 5, Portia S. Middleton. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions, and you do have a resolution before you.
Okay.
Can we have a recount?
Steve.
No.
I move staff's recommendation that we accept this resolution.
Motion by Bruins,
Come on, Steve, second it.
Second. I was trying to get my mic back on.
second by Miller. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Where are we now? Goodness.
This one's security,
Security escorts you out.
yeah.
Yeah, turn over all the pens, okay? So now we're going to take a 5-minute recess and take an opportunity for photos.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. I believe that's about time. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
So our next item is swearing in of newly elected council members. And the oaths of office will now be administered to the newly elected council members as follows. We'll begin with District 2, and County Supervisor Sue Frost will administer the oath to Councilmember-elect Mary Jane Lopez Taft. Then immediately followed by District 4, Ted Costa will administer the oath to Councilmember-elect Jana Karpinski Costa. And then followed by District 5, and I will administer the oath to Councilmember-elect Portia Middleton. So we'll begin with District 2. One wants to fit over there, one here.
I, please say your name and repeat after me.
I, Mary Jane Lopez Taft,
Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend
do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties of which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations, Mary Jane.
Okay, and we will follow with District 4.
Okay, will you please raise your right hand? I, Dr. Jana Karpinski Costa,
I, Dr. Jana Karpinski Costa,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I take it your oath.
And we will now move on with District 5. If you could please raise your right hand. I, please state your name and repeat after me, do solemnly swear or affirm
I, Portia Middleton, do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Next item, please.
The next item is special item number 7, is the selection of mayor and vice mayor.
I would like to begin by calling for a motion for the position of mayor.
I'd like to nominate Tim Schaefer for mayor.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 I have, motion passes. I would like to call for a motion for the position of vice mayor.
I'd like to nominate Brett Daniels.
Your mic isn't on.
Can you turn on your microphone?
Yeah.
Till it turns green.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd like to nominate Brett Daniels.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll now take another 2-minute recess.
More pictures.
Chairs.
So do you have to?
Let's switch these chairs around.
Okay, we ready? All right, call this meeting back to order. May I have the next item, please?
The next item is public comment, and members of the public may address the council on any agenda item of interest to the public and within the council's purview, or on any agenda item before or during the council's consideration of the item. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each. If you wish to address the council during the meeting, please either complete a speaker identification sheet and give it to myself. If participating via Zoom, use the raise hand function or *9 from a telephone to indicate your desire to speak. And when your name is called, I will allow you to unmute your microphone to speak and to come to the podium if you're in person. Thank you.
Do we have any raised hands in Zoom?
I do have one raised hand in Zoom. Would you like to take the
Let's take
people on Zoom first?
Yes.
Okay. So I have Speaker Rick Hodgkins, and you can now unmute yourself to speak for 3 minutes.
Yes. I understand that a while back, and in the interest of time, I will not attempt to remember what date that this was on, although it could have been October 27th. If my memory serves me right, that this was back on October 27th of this year, Thursday, October 27th, to be exact, as the following Monday was October 31st. There was talk about a shopping cart ordinance on how stores could recover shopping carts. Have I known about this at that time, I would have talked about, getting the county involved, because just recently, we all know homeless people are the ones taking the carts from our city's respective stores. And I say this in respect to the fact that just 2 days ago, that the city of Sacramento, along with the county of Sacramento Board of Supervisors, has just recently adopted a collaborative effort to help get the homeless off the streets. I would say let the homeless off the streets and into not only shelter beds, but eventually into housing. Something I support. I just hope that they're successful at it. But I was able to give public comment on the shopping cart ordinance back on October 27th. I would have suggested getting the county involved, as obviously some of those shopping carts do come from the surrounding jurisdictions, say Folsom, Fair Oaks, Orangevale, and Roseville. Of course, Roseville, if the shopping carts come from Roseville, because Roseville's to the north, and they're in Placer County, obviously, not Sacramento County, of course. But, and also what David Warren had to say. And, we're not going to be able to solve the shopping cart problem unless we deal with the bigger problem, which is homelessness. And finally, I compliment the city and county of Sacramento for dealing with that issue. So hopefully in doing so, that will solve the problem with the shopping carts. But I would highly recommend that we reach out to the county Board of Supervisors. I don't know how Sue Frost voted. Hopefully, if she was in her right mind, she would have voted yes for that. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I have John Kane come to the podium, please?
Good evening. Is it 5 minutes or 3 minutes, Mayor?
It's 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Okay.
I'm John Kane. I'm married, have 2 beautiful daughters, and I've been a resident for 14 years, homeowner here. As an involved parent, I have 18 years of experience tutoring my own children, helping them with homework, and I have 3 years of experience as a 8th grade math and science teacher. As a registered voter that seeks to be educated on the issues facing our city and our country, as a parent that's passionately involved in my children's lives, as a former school teacher, I'm deeply concerned about the quality of public education today available in our schools. I'm here tonight because I am convinced that it's time for Citrus Heights to form its own school district. Now, I didn't pull this. Is Mr. Schaefer still here? I didn't pull this out of thin air. I went to the chamber luncheon last month, and they had a historian that told us the history of our city. And he went into how we started our own ambulance corps, our own fire department, our own school. Why? Because the county was neglecting residents in our area. Residents built the first school. Solid roots. We started our own police department. And why? Because local oversight gives our residents better services and a safer city in which to live. So as a former school teacher, along with millions of other parents across our country, I am appalled at the educational system in our country. I'm sure you know that California has one of the lowest reading and math scores in the United States. Earlier this year, like many people, I began to get involved in what's going on just out of, a passion for what's happening in our country. And I began going door to door for candidates in our area, talking to citizens and listening to them. On many days, I was shocked to go past schools in our city that had fencing, but wide open gates that allowed people to go in during the school day. In one school in particular, I could have walked into an elementary classroom easier than I came into City Hall tonight. I was stunned to see many schools with no more than a 3-foot fence surrounding them. Who's responsible for these things? Not the leadership of our city, San Juan Unified School District. And I'm almost out of time. Whatever happened to Child Left Behind? I'll wrap it up this way. The 50,000 children in San Juan schools, including children that call Citrus Heights home, are being left behind academically. Question, how safe are the students in our schools from the next school shooter? What do we always hear in the news reports? We thought it would never happen here. Here's the math. According to the U.S., and I'm almost done. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, we have 19,000 school-aged children in Citrus Heights. Multiply that by $13,000 per student, and you get $247 million. We could fund a school district with $247 million. It's time, solid roots. It was time for a school in our area in the late 1800s. New growth. I appeal to you. It's time for a Citrus Heights school district to begin. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, John. Next item, please.
The next item is presentation number 8, employee service recognition.
Well, good evening, Mayor, Council. Ashley Feeney, your city manager. I'll go ahead and introduce this item. Every 6 months, we recognize some of our employees are celebrating milestones of service. And so these are 5, 10, 15, 20-year milestones and beyond, 25 years possibly. with our anniversary. So tonight, we're going to be recognizing some of our employees that are celebrating these milestones. They're the employees that deliver so much of the services that provided for our community and our citizens, and deliver great things like the tree lighting ceremony we had the other night, and so many other critical services here in the city. So you're going to hear a little bit about them. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. Each department head will present their department, and it looks like I'm up first. All right, Haley Reed. Haley Reed's celebrating a 10-year milestone, 10 years of service. Haley Reed's a management analyst in the city manager's office. She started her career in 2012, and she actually started as a facility attendant working in the community center. She's held multiple roles while working here in the city of Citrus Heights. She went on to be a management intern, then a program assistant, an administrative technician. As I mentioned, she's serving as a management analyst now in the city manager's office. Haley's got a real positive attitude and is a terrific utility player within our organization. And Haley, we definitely appreciate all your hard work and dedication to the team and your commitment to serving the Citrus Heights community. Thank you.
Thank you. Tonight, on behalf of Admin Services Department, I'd like to recognize Brian Koski. He is currently our Information Technology Manager. He has had service of 20 years. Prior to that, he was here for about 5 years. He actually helped create and set up the infrastructure that we have for IT today. He is a network engineer of 40 years total experience, and we thank him for his service. He is actually retiring next week, so wishing him the best, and very happy for everything he has done for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. On behalf of the Community Development Department, I want to recognize Nicole Piva, Housing and Human Services Program Coordinator, on our 20-year anniversary. Nicole started as an intern in neighborhood enhancement in 2000 and has worked her way up ever since, ultimately landing in the housing division and starting as a housing technician until she was promoted recently to the Housing and Human Services Coordinator in August. Nicole has been instrumental in delivering the Housing and Human Services program and continues to grow and take on more responsibility in her role. Nicole is dedicated to customer service and is a tremendous asset to our department and the city. Congratulations, Nicole.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. It is my pleasure on behalf of the General Services Department to recognize 3 individuals who have met significant milestones in this latter part of 2022. First, we have Brian Rowe, who serves as our Construction Maintenance Inspector 2 and is celebrating his 5-year anniversary. He is a very crucial part of our Operations and Maintenance Division, where you will often see him out in the field with various contractors, attending to our public infrastructure, such as street signs, responding to emergencies, assisting with rollout of our new beautification team. And at this time of year, he is very busy working on storm preparation and response. And of course, as City Manager Feeney commented, Tuesday night's tree lighting ceremony, he was also a critical part of that celebration. So congratulations to Brian on your 5-year anniversary. Next, we have Arlen Flores, who has reached her 20-year anniversary here with the city. She initially started in November 2002 as an associate civil engineer and presently holds the position of senior civil engineer. Her areas of responsibility focus on development projects ranging from single-family units to large commercial developments, including the Mitchell Village subdivision, as well as the Sunrise Village project that's going on over at Sunrise in Madison. She has also assisted in the delivery of various capital projects over the years, including transit stop and ADA improvements, and is an incredible resource for areas involving mapping, stormwater quality, and stormwater pollution prevention. Congratulations, Arlen, on your 20-year anniversary. And last but certainly not least, we have Randy Keene, who is also reaching his 20-year anniversary here at the city. He is also a construction maintenance inspector too. He joined the city in November 2002, again as our city's first full-time construction inspector, and currently holds the position as the maintenance inspector too. Over the years, Randy has lent his extensive technical expertise on various construction projects, ranging from small encroachment permit work to multi-million-dollar projects, both capital, private development projects, ensuring contractors and developers build and restore our public infrastructure to the approved standards, and always keeping public safety on the forefront. So congratulations, Randy, on reaching your 20-year anniversary.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, both new and legacy. I'm your Police Chief, Alex Turcotte, and for the next 45 minutes, we're going to take a tour. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to honor a few people here, but we will be short, sweet, so we get on with city business. Very good. First off, Adad Kaz. He's been a police officer with us since 2017. He started as a reserve officer and was promoted to full-time in 2018. He's one of our firearms instructors and a very proactive member of our graveyard shift, keeping the city safe while we're all trying to sleep. So doing a good job. Next up, crime analyst Dominic Cooper. Dominic joined us from where he was a contractor with the FBI on their anti-terrorism task force. He's 6 years veteran of the U.S. Army and 7-year veteran of the Air Force. He's served CHPD since 2017 and is currently one of our intelligent analysts, trying to find out where we can go find all those criminals. He does a great job. Dominic, congratulations. Next, police dispatcher Heather Hutchinson for her celebrating 5 years. She's formerly from the Marin County Sheriff's Office. She's served since 2017. She is a 2-time recipient of the Citrus Heights Police Department Team Member of the Month and does an outstanding job being the angels on her shoulders from there in dispatch. So congratulations, Heather. Oops, we're a little out of order here. Sorry about that. Next is Police Officer Nathan Culver. He's celebrating his 15-year anniversary with the Citrus Heights Police Department. Officer Culver has a distinction of being one of the very first, actually the very first Academy graduate that we hired for field training here. We were built on laterals, and he was the first rookie. So I'm told he spent most of that first year dining by himself at various restaurants. But he's a great asset, and one of our senior canine officers, does an excellent job for us. He's also a field training officer, defensive tactics instructor, and you'll see him with his furry missile named Jack, who's been serving with us for a while as well. So congratulations, Officer Culver. Another canine officer with a legacy of a 15-year anniversary, Officer Joe Davis, joined us from the Guadalupe Police Department. He served Citrus Heights since 2007. He's been a canine officer since 2016 with Canine Blitz. That's the brown one. You guys hadn't, okay. Anyway, he's also a field training officer. He's a SWAT long rifle marksman, range instructor, honor guard, and he is our one mounted unit officer. He has his own horses, and he'll trot along in the parades when we bring them back. So very good. All right, next, congratulations, Officer Davis. Next, also celebrating 15 years, Lieutenant Nicole Gehring. She joined us from the Santa Cruz Police Department, again serving Citrus Heights since 2007. She joined us as an officer and promoted through the ranks, finally to lieutenant in 2020. As a lieutenant, she manages the K-9 team, reserve program, our peer support team, and our mental health crisis support team. She's also the executive officer for our special weapons and tactics team. So congratulations, Lieutenant Gehring. She also serves as our Seroptimus president currently as well. So, next, Officer Pat McCoy. Probably many in this room have not seen Pat in a long, long time. Pat just returned to us 2 days ago from his deployment in Saudi Arabia, where he's been serving in the military as a major. So we had an opportunity to welcome Pat back and surprise his girls at school with his return from being deployed. It was a very cool event, and it's KCRA3 came out and did a news thing on it if you guys want to see that. Couldn't be happier to bring Officer McCoy back. He's also one of our motor officers, so couldn't be happier to have another motor officer back. So he will come back and reacclimate, get a little bit of a vacation before we throw him back into the city, but he'll be out there making friends with citations by February. So congratulations, Officer McCoy. All right, thank you very much.
Just thanks again to our great team and recognizing those milestones. Those are big achievements.
Next item, please.
Next item is comments by council members and regional board updates.
And Councilmember Middleton, can we start with you?
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Last week, I spent some time with Cal Cities doing our very intensive League Leaders Workshop where we set the priorities for 2023 that we'll be focusing on at the state level. You'll be happy to know that these priorities, we narrowed them down from over 60 to 4. It took us, 8 hours that day. But they are to protect and expand investments, to prevent and reduce homelessness. The second one is to increase the supply and affordability of housing while retaining local decision-making. The third is to improve public safety in California communities. And the fourth is to safeguard essential local revenues and support fiscal sustainability. And as you can tell, a lot of these were really specific and driven by the fact that COVID had a deep impact in the way that housing is going now in California. We know that cities need to maintain local control, and that is why we structured these priorities this way. So they're not in priority order, but there are things that we're going to be focusing on heavily. And going forward, we'll also be able to expand a little bit upon that to make sure that we are covering whatever the legislature throws at us in 2023. Thank you, Mayor.
Great. How about one of our newer council members, Jane Karpinski-Costa? Would you comment, please?
I have to get used to this. Thank you. I just wanted two things. One is I wanted to thank all the people who voted, which is 1/5 of the city in my district, which is kind of sad. I really wish we could vote at large again. And so, but you can see how important your vote is by the two close races that were nail biters. I mean, your vote counts. And so I think this was a lesson in how everybody needs to get out there and educate themselves. I think the Sentinel did a good job covering people. All of the candidates were very good at letting you have access to them, to talk to them. So you can make decisions, and hopefully everybody voted. The other thing I wanted to do is to let you know I inherited 240 hats from my Aunt Irene. And the lights I have macular degeneration, and the lights just burn my retinas. So I will be wearing hats to just block these lights these lights are really overwhelming for me. So, so is a bright screen. So I apologize if I look like I'm out of place. I don't feel out of place. Anyways, thank you so much, and thank you, Mayor. Congratulations for being mayor.
Thank you. So can we hear from Councilmember Jane Taft, please?
Thank you so much, Mayor. First, I wanted to thank all of our citizens in District 2 for voting for me, for taking me up on my recommendation to vote in all the categories for our city. Really appreciate it. With a margin of 20 votes, every vote does indeed matter. And of course, secondly, I want to thank my family who's here for supporting me through all the ups and downs of a campaign, as only a campaign can impact a family. And we made it, and now is just the beginning, so hang on. And I apologize in advance. I also want to really thank my mom and my family that raised me, because if it wasn't for my grandparents' encouragement to be involved, to serve the community, I would not be here at all. They planted that seed a long time ago, and I really appreciate that. I sincerely appreciate all of the support I've received, not only from the community, but also the current city council members, and of course, Ms. Jeannie Bruins and Mr. Steve Sparky Miller as well. So thank you all.
And finally, Vice Mayor Brett Daniels.
Thank you. I think your hat looks classy, so go ahead and keep wearing it.
Can we dim this light?
So, comment on the election. Congratulations to Councilmember Portia Middleton on her victory, Jane Taft on hers, and Jana Karpinski-Costa on hers. I'm not absolutely sure, but I think this might be the first time there's been a 3-women majority on the council. I think it might be the first time we've elected 2 people at the same time, 2 new people. So it's an amazing time. It was an exciting election. It was an incredibly frustrating election, watching vote tallies go over the span of 4 weeks. That is unconscionable, and what these candidates that had close races had to go through during that 4-week period is just horrible, and that needs to change somehow. but let's keep it positive if we can. But congratulations to all three, and I think we've got a great council up here. Hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. On about November 15th or so, I attended the Neighborhood Association 789 meeting and got a nice report from the impact team and some traffic stuff, so that was exciting. If you don't know about neighborhood associations, go on our website, look them up. Everybody in Citrus Heights lives within a neighborhood association, and it's one way to connect between your neighborhood and the city. It's important. They're very useful. Some of them are stronger than others, but get involved. I believe somebody said get involved, and that's about the best way to do it right now. So check out our neighborhood associations. On November 30th, attended the Sunrise Marketplace Open House for their new location, and had some nice treats and beverages and got to see some great people. That was fun. Tuesday night, we did the tree lighting, and that was a lot of fun and whatnot. I want to promise people that next year we will not run out of cookies and hot cocoa. I guarantee it. So that should not happen. So, but thank you for people who came out. Toys for the Troops Kids will start its 20th annual toy drive on Saturday, December 10th. It will run through the 22nd, and they will be up at the northeast corner of Greenback and Sunrise in the parking lot between Panera Bread and Sprouts from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day, collecting toys for the kids of our military troops. We will not meet again before Christmas, so I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Enjoy. Be safe.
All right, so I did not have a library board meeting. There was one scheduled for the 15th. So, but I did attend the, first thing I want to talk about a little bit about the elections. Congratulations to Dr. Jana Karpinski-Costa and Jane Taff and Portia Middleton for winning their races. It was a very, very hard-fought election. I appreciate all of the hard work that went into that. And I again have some concerns about how long it took to count the votes, and how the fact that there was some questions that I have that I'm looking forward to getting answered. So with that, I was delighted at the Christmas tree lighting. It was really a fun event. It always is a fun event, and certainly. When it comes to the holidays, please be safe out there. Please, don't drink and drive, and be safe. One small kind of a funny thing that happened is, we have a traffic issue on Park Oaks Drive, and one of my neighbors knocked on my door and asked me if I could dismiss a ticket for her.
Now you can. You're the mayor now, right?
It was really kind of a cute moment, but I said, no, sorry, that ticket's already down at the court. So, but be safe out there. Really be careful that don't run stop signs, don't run red lights. Let's be safe, and let's make it through the holidays to the first of the year. Thank you. I have the next item, please.
The next item is consent calendar items 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14.
I need to pull item 9.
Okay.
I'll move approval for the consent calendar minus item 9.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So, can we have item 9, please?
Item 9 was the approval of minutes.
I was not present for these meetings, so I'm just going to abstain for those.
Okay.
Move approval of item number 9.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Jana abstains.
Motion passes. Next item, please.
Next item is public hearing number 15. The subject is second reading, ordinance amending Chapter 38 of the Citrus Heights Municipal Code relating to fire prevention and protection. The recommendation is to adopt an ordinance amending Chapter 38 of the Citrus Heights Municipal Code relating to fire prevention and protection.
Good evening. sorry about that, Mayor and Council. Casey Kempen, our Community Development Director, filling in for Greg Anderson tonight. This is a second hearing. As you probably recall, this was the first hearing was the last council meeting where we introduced for first reading. Under the code, we are required to have a second hearing, and that's the purpose of tonight. So what this is adopting the International Fire Code into our own ordinance. It includes minor local amendments. I do have Supervising Inspector Janae Smith from Sac Metro Fire in attendance as well. As you may recall, the last meeting we went over a couple of those minor changes, but they're consistent with past practices and really best practices that are included into our ordinance. So tonight our recommendation is to have a public hearing, take any public comment, close the public hearing, and then the motion is there before you. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from council? Okay, I'm going to open the public hearing. Do we have any raised hands on Zoom?
I do not see any raised hands.
Any public comment? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item. Next item, please.
Next item is regular calendar, item number 16. The subject is resolution authorizing the city manager to execute service agreements not to exceed $200,000 for the development of infrastructure financing strategies and any necessary ancillary engineering work for the Sunrise Tomorrow project. And the recommendation is to adopt a resolution to execute the agreements for the infrastructure financing strategies for the Sunrise Tomorrow project.
Good evening, Council. Mayor Schaefer, Vice Mayor Daniels, and City Council members. I am Megan Huber, Economic Development and Community Engagement Director. This item is a continuation of strategic goals that the city has set and achieved and continued again as it relates to our Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan. This evening, we'll go through some project history, the consideration before you, as well as additional information on how the proposed project will be executed and its substantive importance to the execution of the specific plan, and we'll take any questions. So a quick project history. As I'm sure Council and our community recalls, our Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan was unanimously adopted in November 2021. In May of 2022, we set a strategic objective to issue a request for proposals to conduct analysis of various public infrastructure financing strategy scenarios and other economic development tools to inform future development agreement discussions for the Sunrise Tomorrow project. If we were to distill that word blurb into a single sentence, it would be, we need to figure out how to build infrastructure. In July of 2022, City Council authorized the issuance of the Infrastructure Financing Strategies RFP to inform our specific plan development, and we issued the RFP in August and are here before you to consider execution of budget amendments to be able to proceed with those contracts. So at its heart, we've identified this as a very critical next step because although infrastructure such as water, sewer, storm drainage, power, and utilities exist along Sunrise Boulevard and Greenback Lane, the site still requires project-specific infrastructure and an associated funding plan to be able to make eventual infill development happen. A couple of visuals to help illustrate that. One category of infrastructure that needs this analysis and assistance is utilities. On the left, you see a chart out of existing utilities as they stand. I've heard City Manager Feeney affectionately refer to this as our plate of spaghetti that we need to organize. On the right is how proposed utilities would be organized based on the illustrative plan represented. Another example of infrastructure that needs analysis and funding plans are roads and infrastructure. This is a visual of what that looks like, highlighting using the illustrative plan of particular importance and really the headlining infrastructure that staff needs to dig more into and figure out how to make happen is what we're referencing as the loop road. So following most of this green line around the perimeter of the site, that is what will create access to parcels on the back, in the interior, so that projects can begin to be implemented. Anything to add on either of those two things? So an infrastructure financing strategy will include comprehensive information on the options, fiscal benefits, advantages, and disadvantages to designating portions of infrastructure as public to be able to facilitate development. That also opens up the opportunity to leverage grants as well. Essentially, this strategy will be used as a playbook. The playbook will define the variety of financing tools and potential funding sources that we can utilize in partnership with developers and property owners to be able to fund eventual infill development. So staff issued the RFP. We received 3 responses. We proceeded with an evaluation process where we reviewed proposals very deeply for qualifications because this is a very pivotal action step for our project. And we spent time with finalists in in-depth interviews as well. And staff recommendation of the 3 responses that we received is Cosmont Companies. And after spending time with them, it became very clear they rose to the top in terms of subject matter expertise and very robust project history, both in Southern California and Northern California. Projects very similar in terms of mixed-use destination, repivoting retail, demalling, and similar. We were also extremely impressed at their ability to partner with city staff to pull other stakeholders around the table and leverage community and leader relationships to be able to make even more happen than if the project executor was doing it alone. So at this point, because we're talking about them, I would like to acknowledge that Cosmont Senior Vice President Joe, do we know how to say Joe's last name? Joe, you can say your last name for us. We're on a first name basis. He's joining us by Zoom. So Amy, if I can ask that you tag him in so he can say a quick hello and acknowledge our city council.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the City Council. Joe Dieguez, I say Dieguez. Very happy to be here. I didn't know my photo was going to be on the slide. So good to be with you all, and I'll hang on to answer any questions, of course, as may be desired. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thanks, Joe. So the project process really is 4 steps, although I don't want that to oversimplify what is a fairly complicated and complex process. Partnering with Cosmont, we would identify and evaluate relevant financing tools and public funding sources. They would then perform a preliminary funding and financing analysis that would funnel into a fiscal and economic impact analysis, and then it would be completed with a governance and implementation roadmap. And again, although this looks linear, this will be a very iterative process. And that's for a couple of reasons that I'll outline now. First and foremost, the project utilizing a specific plan. This is mostly how our community knows our Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan as the illustrative plan. And this represents one way that the project can develop. But really, at its heart, the specific plan is a set of development allowances that incentivize projects in new use types and help densify the site, which means projects can come in that might look different than that illustrative plan. And they could come in, if we think of it as a very large puzzle, they come in one piece at a time. And we have to assess each piece as it comes in because we don't know what it looks like until it does. So what this analysis will do is give us a playbook to be able to effectively implement infrastructure, whatever those puzzle pieces look like. And this diagram really represents that phasing concept that we talk about too. So the finished product that we'll have will take into account this phasing and empower staff with different options to allow us to follow projects wherever they may lead because we're committed to a market-driven project. I want to pause and check in with Casey Kempenaar, our Community Development Director. Casey, do you have anything to add so far?
No.
Great. Taking the phasing illustration one step further, the previous slide represents larger phases, the way that the site will most likely actualize, first using the 75 acres of surplus parking for new development, and the specific plan being available for later phases, should it be needed. It could also happen in even smaller puzzle pieces, even drilling down into planning areas. And that's what this product will do too, is give us a better understanding of the kind of infrastructure that will be needed at every step of the way. So I want to pause and give a really exciting project update. There was a previous update in our city manager updates at the end of the last council meeting, but this is really where the dots connect and the true benefit can be seen of that update. Citrus Heights was awarded $160,000 via a Green Means Go grant to complete infrastructure financing strategies project. This grant funds non-transportation infrastructure and planning that helps to accelerate infill housing and supports housing affordability. And I want to pause and recognize my colleague Casey for his work in making that happen from a staff team perspective. And thank you to SACOG, who administered that grant. In terms of project funding recommendation, taking into account the needs of the project as well as the scope of work by Cosmont, staff recommends a project budget not to exceed $200,000. That takes into account the quoted Cosmont contract, and it also leaves the space needed in order to perform analysis and you get supportive engineering data and analysis for project needs as they are uncovered. So very luckily, recommended project funding would be $200,000. $160,000 of that recommended be covered by the Green Means Go grant funding. Staff also recommends utilizing American Rescue Plan Act funding for the remaining $40,000. The $40,000 is a match requirement in order to accept the Green Means Go funding. So with that, staff recommends what you see here on the screen, and I am happy to take any questions.
Any questions from council? I'll go with Dr. Dana Karpinski-Costa first, please.
When I read the, report, it seems they're going to do this. What's the timeline for their deliverables? Is this going to take months, years?
No, it's estimated to take about 120 days, depending on how work product actualizes. Okay. So we're really excited to have that the first half of next year to be able to keep the project moving.
Councilmember Daniels?
Yeah, can you go back to page 14, I think it was. Try 13. So I'm looking at this map, and it appears that nowhere in this map is the future showing Macy's and J.C. Penney's remains on that property. Is that correct, or am I missing what this map says?
We, there was a couple iterations of this in the specific plan. We wanted to future-proof the plan and understand retail environment's changing, and we wanted to plan for a future where if those big boxes are to go away, we know what fits there and what makes sense there. So this illustration in particular shows something different there, and we've planned for that. In the event they go away, we have a plan in place to be able to make that happen.
And I could be wrong. I forget things at times, but I don't remember ever seeing a map or whatever that indicated that would occur. It may have happened, but I just don't remember it.
Yeah, this is directly out of the specific plan, so it was something that was thought of. But again, we'd love them to stay indefinitely. But the way the market is these days, that may not always be the case. So we wanted to make sure we had a well-thought-out plan in the event that didn't happen.
And then can you go to 18, I think it was, maybe. Let's check. Yeah, go back one. 16.
Go back?
Go 15. There. Those two, are those two numbers a total? Or does the 189 include the 52,500?
The recommended project budget is not to exceed 200,000 total, the top line.
So that 189 on the bottom includes the 52?
It does not.
So those two numbers together, over 200.
Oh, it looks that way. Okay, so live edit, the supportive engineering will be what's the math, Casey? 147.
Okay. Okay.
500.
Okay. That's good. And the only final thing I'll say on the item is that I would not typically support giving the city manager, and nothing against the city manager, he's a great man. But one of the things I think that has happened over the years is that sometimes council has given over too much of oversight of a certain level of funds, and it concerns me when that happens. But you know, this is a special thing in our lives, in our council, in our city, and I do support this level on this occasion. I think it's also going to have a little bit of added oversight since we're getting this grant also, and so I feel confident that it'll be done in a proper way. But I think we just need to be careful in the future of turning too much of council oversight to a certain level of money. So, but nothing against you, sir. You're doing a great job. That's it.
Yes, Councilmember Middleton, please.
Could you go back to the SACOG slide? This is really important because I am the representative on that board, and this takes regional collaboration. It means that we have to work in partnership, and there's a lot of give and take that happens. So the fact that Citrus Heights is seeing so much love means that we are doing something right in the city, that people are excited about the projects that we're bringing. And I'm tremendously proud of the fact that this was approved, and we're still able to get more Green Means Go funding on top of all the other allocations we've gotten in the past 3 years.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right.
And Mayor, I do have a speaker that has raised their hand on Zoom.
Okay. Do we need to open a public hearing for that? No?
The public comment for
Oh,
that.
public comment, yes.
So if we're ready to proceed with the public comment, I will go ahead and.
We're ready for public comment.
So Mr. Rick Hodgkins, you can now unmute yourself to speak.
Yes, I was, thank you, Rick Hodgkins. I live at 8007 Sunrise Boulevard, apartment 179 in Citrus Heights. I don't know what council area that this falls under where I live, but, you know, I was talking with my uncle not long ago, and we were talking about the Sunrise Mall. And, you know, we have a bunch of seniors who go to the mall, And that what they like about it is during the cold winter months when it's raining outside and really very windy, that the mall as it is now gives them a place to walk in to protect them from the ailments. And at the same time, by the same token, when it is hot outside, they go there and they like to walk inside. It protects them from the hot sweltering heat. So as the presenter put it, de-mall, where are people going to go when it's triple digits outside? The mall is a place to go to cool off. They need a place to go where it's air conditioned. Also, what about when it's raining outside and windy during the cold winter months? I often envisioned, the mall as it is. I mean, the two different anchor stores that are remaining, JCPenney's and Macy's, they have a way to get into those stores, not only through the mall, but that they also have a way to get into those stores from the outside. I also envisioned the stores that are the other stores which are currently in the mall and the new tenants coming in, having an entrance that's not only accessible from inside the mall, but also an entrance which people can enter from outside the mall. I noticed that with other malls I've been to in the state of California as well. Maybe not with all the malls, but with there's at Arden Fair Mall that you have a Starbucks coffee, for example, which you can enter from the inside as well as the outside of Arden Fair Mall. There's a Starbucks that you can enter from the inside of the Arden Fair Mall as well as from the outside. And also, where are Santa Claus? Where are people going to go? Not everyone wants to go all the way to the gallery at Roseville. Not everyone wants to go all the way to Arden Fair Mall. So keep that in mind, please. I don't know if I feel comfortable demolling the mall as it is. We can knock down the Sears building and build apartments where the Sears Roebuck building currently stands. So let's just keep those in mind as we go forward with this project, even though I support it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hodgkins. Are there any other public comments?
No, I do not have any other public comments.
Okay. So can I have a motion?
Move staff's recommendation.
I'll second.
Motion by Daniels, second by Karpinski Costa. All those can we call for a vote? Do we need to do an individual vote or just?
No, you can do just a voice vote since everyone's present tonight.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item, please.
The next item is regular calendar, item number 17. The subject is resolution authorizing the application for REAP 2.0 higher impact transformative allocation. The recommendation is to adopt a resolution authorizing application to and participation in the higher impact transformative grant program.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Casey Kemp, our Community Development Director again. Pleased to present this to you tonight on the topic of infrastructure. We have an opportunity here with a funding source through the state that is really targeting projects just like the Sunrise Tomorrow project that are going to have a high impact and really transform land use and serve as exemplar projects throughout the state. Next slide, please. So this is a project funded through HCD, and their goal is to accelerate housing, reduce VMT, unlock infill opportunities, and support multimodal options, which, as you know, are major premises of the specific plan. There's $30 million available statewide, and there's a $10 million maximum. It has a really quick turnaround. The NOFA came out in November. It's due December 31st. So not every agency is as nimble as us. So we think we have a pretty good chance of capturing some of this money, and we think it's worth the opportunity. Next slide, please. So our concept, and it's evolving, we're writing the grant as we speak, is to support infill development by focusing on some of those frontage improvements. So Megan, on her last presentation, really focused on getting the infrastructure on the site. This would help, we think, would help cover improvements that are necessary to allow it to occur. So the multi-use trail, the signal improvements, the transit center, those kind of things are a pretty heavy lift, and this is a big chunk of money that would be able to help do that. Next slide, please. So again, this is a work in progress. We're not sure exactly how far $10 million will get us, and we have engineers busy crunching numbers to help figure that out. But our first blush at what it may cover is the infrastructure to allow utility tie-ins into the site. So no one wants to do a bunch of work and then have to dig it up again. So the idea would be that we could stub out from the trunk line infrastructure in Sunrise Boulevard, stub that into the site, and then come over and build the improvements over the top of it. That includes the multi-use trail, the signals, the crosswalks, all that stuff that goes along with it. So a big part of the grant is focusing on transit. So we think that including the transit center as development as part of that is really critical to making this grant work. We're not sure how far that infrastructure with the 10 million will obviously make it go as far as we can if we're lucky enough to be awarded that. So that exhibit just kind of shows where that may go. So if we can do the whole site, we'd love to. So we'll continue to crunch numbers. We don't want to overpromise. We want to make sure we got our numbers dialed in. Next slide. So part of this, the right side of the screen shows how the grant is scored. And if you kind of go through the different line items there, I think we'll score pretty well on most of them. The bottom line item that's highlighted there is leveraging. And you know, it's hard to guess what other people are going to be leveraging, but I'd imagine for a grant that's competitive, it's going to be each city that's going after this will have some sort of leveraging fund. So our recommendation is to the council consider using ARPA money for a $1 million match, only if the grant is awarded. So if nothing ventured, nothing gained. If we don't get the grant, we won't spend any money. But if we do get the grant, we would chip in $1 million from ARPA if the council is so inclined. And if we get less than $10 million, it will be prorated accordingly. So we think we have good odds of it. I think that the leveraging piece is really important for us to be competitive, and our recommendation is that we would do that with ARPA money. Again, the grant's due on the 31st, so we have a lot of work ahead of us through the holidays, but we're committed to getting that done should the council be inclined. Next slide. So our recommendation is on the screen, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions, council? Seeing no questions. I have a motion. Can I take a motion? We need
No comment?
no public comment?
I do not have any raised hands or any public comment.
I move staff's recommendation.
Second?
All those in, what's that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item, please.
Next item is department reports, of which there are none. Next item is city manager items.
All right, well, good evening, Mayor Schaefer, Vice Mayor Daniels, and our city council. Just to get started right off the top, congratulations on your election and your appointments. Got our new council seated tonight. Looking forward to working with you as we move into next chapter for Citrus Heights. All right, well, a few updates from me. You heard this spoken to a bit by the chief, but we had a terrific event happen just recently where we welcomed Patrick McCoy back to the city of Citrus Heights. Patrick McCoy has been an officer with Citrus Heights PD for 15 years. He also serves as a major in the U.S. Army, and he's been deployed 3 times since he's joined Citrus Heights Police Department. He spent time in Iraq as well as the South Pacific, and then, as you heard earlier, just most recently came back from a deployment in Saudi Arabia. So we're very happy to have him home. And as I mentioned, he returned home this week. He was welcomed, as you can see, by his colleagues from both Citrus Heights and Folsom Police Departments. When you're in the motor unit, you my understanding from people I know that are in it, here and other places I know, that's like a fraternity. And so certainly get to know your neighbors when you're in the motor unit, and it was terrific to see the kind of welcome he had. Shared the news clip and encourage you to watch that. It's definitely heartwarming seeing the welcoming he received from his daughters and his family too. Terrific to have Pat home, and definitely want to thank him for his service here and abroad. This is a terrific item that I wanted to make the council aware of as well as the community, but Citrus Heights Police Department unveiled their honor wall at Citrus Heights PD, and that was unveiled this month. And it's a culmination of efforts between Citrus Heights PD command staff as well as our local on Auburn Boulevard PSM monuments that honor the hard work of prior members that have retired from the agency. So moving forward, for our retirees from Citrus Heights PD, Citrus Heights PD, working along with the Citrus Heights Police Foundation, will continue to honor our retirees by having their names on the wall. And we have some open opportunities for new planning commissioners and construction. This has been advertised on our social media, and we've been putting the word out, but there's still time. The application period will close next Friday, December 16th. And for those that are interested in serving on the Planning Commission or Construction Board of Appeals, we have that opportunity ready for those folks. So if you would like to serve or learn more, we have a link here. And of course, please come into City Hall, and happy to talk to you more about it. And then, as was mentioned earlier, we will not be holding the city council meeting on December 22nd, but we will start off the new year with a council meeting, a regular council meeting on January 12th, starting at 6 p.m. Look forward to seeing people then. That concludes my updates.
Next item, please.
The next item is items requested by council members or future agenda items.
Any? No? Councilmember, Vice Mayor Daniels?
I'll start. A couple years ago, we moved the requirement to put something on the agenda from 2 to 3 council members. I'd like to see us bring that back during our next council meeting for discussion on returning to 2 council members to put something on the agenda.
Well, if it takes 3 to put it on the next agenda, I'll be number 2.
Okay.
I'll be number 3.
Great. We have 3. Any other items? All right. Any, next item, please?
And that's all the items that we have on the agenda for tonight.
Great, thank you. I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 7:52. Thank you.